that is what. So that is the trail, the feeding trail. You can see that. Oh, look at that one is running. It's running. Oh. So hippos, what they eat is grass. They feed on grass. And the type of grass that they like, those are aquatic grass. Those grass that are close to the...
Dat gaat niet helemaal goed volgens mij, zin 2.
Facilities behind me were set up specifically for the mountain pygmy possums. They're an alpine species, so they need temperatures that drop down to about 2 degrees in winter, and we need to be able to keep it fairly cool in summer, because up on Mount Buller and Mount Hotham and Kosciuszko as well, it doesn't get to really hot temperatures. Now, they are Australia's only hibernating marsupials, so we're simulating the conditions inside these rooms so that they can hibernate in winter. Today we took up 2 of our little 12-week-old litters of mountain pygmy possums, took them up to the hospital, up to the AWHC, and it was essentially their first vet check. So we got the vets to have a look at their teeth, their eyes, their ears. They all had a microchip inserted into them so that we can identify them in future, because they all pretty much look the same. And we also took a little hair sample so that we can send that off for genetic analysis. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of change happening to their natural habitat, so we've got ski villages up sort of where the possums used to live. We've put roads through the boulder fields where these little guys actually like to live and feed, so it has caused fragmentation, change and damage to the natural sort of structure and vegetation up there. Climate change is potentially also a big issue for these fellas. They do need good snow cover in winter in order to hibernate properly. If the climate is changing and we're having warmer winters and we're not getting the good snow cover, the mountain pygmy possums won't hibernate so well, which means that they may be waking up, arousing during a period where they would normally be hibernating. And every time they wake up from hibernation, they do lose body weight. So there's generally not a lot of food around in winter, and so hibernation is a way that they can skip through that period where there's not so many resources. Mountain pygmy possums rely on a huge migration of bogong moths that make their way up to the alpine areas every spring when the snow melts. One of the simplest things you can do if you're staying up on the mountain during that period is to make sure that at night time you turn all lights off. You don't leave any sort of unnecessary lights going, because that will actually attract the moths away from the boulder fields. We want the moths to actually do their normal migration, which is out onto the boulder fields and down into the rocks, which is where the pygmy possums live. Then they can have their normal food source.
Perhaps he liked playing football.
Oh.
A bit more lively than the other one, isn't it?
Is that last year's baby, Jim? Not so good. Huh?